ساتوی پسرو وینو دا د شهیدانو کور دا د باتورانو کور دا د باتورانو کور دا د باتورانو کور دا د باتورانو کور ساتوی پسرو وینو دا د شهیدانو کور دا
Good evening. Thank you for joining us on this Sunday, May 18, 2025. I'm Suleiman Talash. During his visit to Iran, Foreign Minister Maulavi Amir Khan Muttaqi and Iranian counterpart Said Abbas Araghchi discussed bilateral relations, security and refugee issues. The Foreign Minister emphasized the importance of enhancing diplomatic ties and providing a platform for Afghan refugees to resettle in their homeland, urging Iran to facilitate their return. Mr. Araghchi responded that both countries should make gradual progress in strengthening their relations. Mullah Abdul Ghani Baradar Khan, Deputy Prime Minister for Economic Affairs, said that the 16th Kazan Forum in Russia was full of achievements and that the forum was a platform for discussions with the presidents and high-ranking officials of Russia, Tatarstan and the Republic of Moldova on strengthening bilateral political, economic and trade relations. Here is the rest of the story.
Deputy Prime Minister for Economic Affairs, Mullah Abdul Ghani Baradar Khan, who returned to Kabul after participating in the 16th Kazan Forum, said that during this visit, he met with the Russian Vice President and discussed the increase in trade between Moscow and Kabul, the investment of Russian investors in Afghanistan, and establishment of joint economic cooperation between the two countries in various economic sectors.
We had discussions with the Deputy Prime Minister of the Russian Federation on trade, transit and customs issues.
During this visit, Mr. Akhund also met with the presidents of Tatarstan and Republic of Moldova on political, economic and trade issues and signed bilateral agreements with them in various fields.
There were also discussions with the Prime Ministers of Tatarstan and Moldova focusing on agriculture matters and industrial issues, where productive and beneficial conversations took place.
Meanwhile, Minister of Industry and Commerce Nuruddin Azizi said that Russian authorities have promised to ease restrictions on Afghanistan's banking system and open a direct trade route between Afghanistan and Russia, which will increase the export of Afghan products to Russian markets.
We discussed banking transaction issues, noting that while some problems with regional imports have been resolved, issues with Russia remain, and we will work to resolve them.
The 16th Kazan International Economic Forum, which began on May 13, was attended by senior officials and 20,000 companies from about 90 countries, including Afghanistan.
On the other hand, the Deputy Minister of Finance and Administration of the Ministry of Higher Education, Maulavi Hafiz Muhammad Hamid Hasib, delivered a comprehensive speech at a special academic meeting held on the sidelines of the 16th World Economic Forum in Kazan, the capital of Republic of Tatarstan, Russia. The meeting, titled Expanding Interaction Between Science and Higher Education between Russia and Islamic Countries in a Multipolar International System, presented the message of the Ministry of Higher Education and emphasized the sharing and development of scientific and educational cooperation, scientific experiences, and innovation between Islamic countries. Nangarhar Deputy Governor Maulavi Azizullah Mustafa and Director of Refugees and Repatriation Baz Muhammad Abdul Rahman met with representatives of a number of aid organizations. According to a press release from the Ministry of Refugees and Repatriations, representatives of several organizations pledged that they are planning to implement various projects for returnees' families in Nangarhar for 70 million euros. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Refugees and Repatriation says that 246 Afghans were released from Pakistani prisons and returned to the country yesterday. According to the ministry, these Afghans were arrested despite having legal residence documents and spent between 1 to 10 days in detention. The Indian government has granted permission for 162 Afghan traders to cross the Wagah border, previously halted due to recent India-Pakistan tensions. Khanjan Alakozai, the leading member of the Chamber of Commerce and Investment, highlights that trade between Afghanistan and India thought this border amounts to $500 million annually and expresses hope for the removal of future trade obstacles. More details in this report.
After the deterioration of relations between India and Pakistan, the Wagah port was also closed, which also disrupted trade between Afghanistan and India. The Afghanistan Chamber of Commerce and Investment says that 162 vehicles of Afghan traders carrying dried and fresh fruits were stopped at the Wagah port. And after the talks between the foreign ministers of India and the Islamic Emirate, Indian authorities allowed the goods of Afghan traders to enter India the previous day.
Previously, our goods were sometimes held up in India and sometimes in Pakistan, but now permission has been granted for them to pass through the Wagah port. The list we had prepared includes 162 containers and the Indian side has approved it. We have received a message confirming that permission has been granted.
The Chamber of Commerce and Investment adds that the problem of Afghan traders at the Wagah port has currently been resolved, but it hopes that through talks between the Islamic Emirate and Indian officials, their problems can be completely resolved and trade through the Wagah port can return to normal.
For now, these goods are allowed to pass through in a normal manner, and I hope that the situation will return to normal in the future. I sincerely wish the governments of Pakistan and India once again make the Wagah port available for Afghan exports as they did in the past.
This comes at a time when Afghanistan has an annual trade worth nearly $700 million with Pakistan and over $1 billion with India.
The Director General of the Afghan Red Crescent Society, Sheikh Shahabuddin Dilavar, met with Hussein Ahmad Botani, the Director of the Qatar Red Crescent Society for Afghanistan, and his delegation. The Afghan Red Crescent Society says that the two sides discussed ongoing joint humanitarian aid projects and the launch of new projects. Over the past 10 months, 213 vehicles of various types were repaired and ready for use in the workshop of the 3rd Brigade of the 207th Al-Faruq Corps. The repaired vehicles include 142 Ranger vehicles, 23 international vehicles, 38 armored Humvee tanks, and 4 ambulances. This measure is part of the ongoing programs of vehicle maintenance, capacity building, and effective use of available resources at the National Islamic Army level. And the final one says that 6,660 kilograms of marijuana have been burned in Afghan province. The Counter-Narcotics Department of the Ministry of Interior's Counter-Narcotics Management Department in Afghan province has discovered the drugs and burned 6,660 kilograms of the drugs as a result of a series of operations in Gizab district of the province. That's all for tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. Stay tuned to the recent latest updates of RTA News. Have a good night.
ساتوی پسرو وینو دا د شهیدانو کور دا د باتورانو کور دا د باتورانو کور دا د باتورانو کور دا د باتورانو کور ساتوی پسرو وینو دا د شهیدانو کور دا